Alright, this is Cyberpunk 2077. I started playing this game again recently. This is a game that I started to play a little bit, and then I put it down and I didn't play it for a while. And I don't know, I'm having some issues getting into it. Maybe deciding how I want to play it, if I can play it the way I want to play it, which is basically guns a-blazing. Seems to be working so far here. Anyways, the game looks great. Everyone is kind of, praised this game for its graphics. One thing I wanted to point out is the main complaint I have with this game doesn't seem to matter as much when you're in these indoor parts, which is where most of the gunfights happen. And when you're in these indoor parts, I do find, to give this game credit, as good as it does look, and it has this reputation for being, hard to run. And this is how I play it most of the time. This is 1440p, but with the FSR on, I think it's on quality, if I recall, and everything's on medium, just medium preset. And it still looks really good, but when you're in these indoor parts, I find, it runs very smooth and it feels very responsive. And I think that might show here, even in this video. And that's good when you're in these indoor parts, and that's mostly where your gunfights happen. Again, having a reputation being hard to run, being choppy. I don't find that when you're in these indoor parts. It runs very smooth and it feels very responsive. And again, so that's great. And honestly, I'm having fun. Because it runs smooth and it feels responsive, the gunfights can be fun. And again, I'm just going in, guns a-blazing, double barrel shotgun, up close and personal. And maybe it's not the best way to play the game. Maybe sneaking around, maybe hacking devices nearby, which I haven't even really tried. They make you sort of try it at the beginning of the game in the training, just so that I guess you can do it, and there may be parts in the game where you need to do it. But some people may base the way they want to play the game off that, and treat it less like an action-packed first-person shooter. I think with this game, I could be wrong, but I think you can just kind of play it how you want to play it. And again, in that regards, it's great. I'm having fun in these gunfights. And again, the fact that it runs great and it feels responsive, most importantly, it feels very responsive to the mouse inputs, and that's great. In the car parts, again, this is 1440p, but FSR on quality, medium presets. The game looks gorgeous in certain ways. The detail on the side of the road with the lighting. The lighting's a big part of it. It does look great, but the one thing that really kills it is the pop-up. The pop-in is just very, very intrusive. It's very noticeable, and it kind of kills the experience. I get LODs, but I don't know. Maybe they need to smooth the transitions between LODs, because there's just a lot of pop-in in this game, a lot of pop-up, and it's very noticeable. It's very in your face. And so it kind of makes me think in one weird way that this is the best looking, worst looking game I've ever seen. Here's what I thought I would try. So now I'm running the game. I'm pushing the game past what my video card can run. I'm doing this just to see how good it can look, and forgetting about how well it's going to run right now. This is 1440p native, FSR's turned off, and this is the Ultra preset. So I basically maxed out the game just to see how good it can look. And I gotta say, the pop-up is definitely less noticeable. It's still there, and it's still noticeable at times, but it's not constant. But again, this is on Ultra, and you shouldn't have to run a game on Ultra to have this minimal kind of pop-up. And again, like I said, it's still there. It's just not non-stop like it is when you're on medium or high. I've tried playing this game on medium and on high, and as far as the pop-up goes, I think it's about the same, which again doesn't really make sense. Even on medium, the pop-up shouldn't be that bad. On Ultra here, what little pop-up there is maybe that's because my GPU only has 6 gigabytes of RAM, but I don't think that would be the case at medium. At least it shouldn't be. So anyways, that's all I wanted to show. Again, this is how I normally play it. This is, 1440p FSR quality on the medium preset, and it's fairly smooth. There's a little bit of jitter, there's a little bit of choppiness when you're driving around every once in a while. But again, when you're in gunfights, when it really matters, I find it's very smooth and very responsive, so that's good. It's really just the pop when you're driving around. The pop-up is just so bad. It's so noticeable. It's distracting. It's so distracting, and it's like non-stop. What is up with that? Again, looks amazing on one. I've never seen a game that in one aspect looks so amazing, but in another aspect looks so bad. What do you guys think? Is the pop-up this bad for you? Is it just because I have a 6 gigabyte VRAM? But even on medium, like, to me that doesn't make sense. You should be able to run the game on medium with FSR. It's basically like, I think that's like 1080p medium. I should be able to run at 1080p medium, not have this much pop-up. Do you always have this much pop-up on medium? Which I suspect is the issue. And again, medium to high didn't really seem to make any difference. I don't know. It's just me. Do you guys have this much pop-up? Are you playing it on the consoles? Do you find the pop-up is distracting? Let me know what you think. See you guys later.